Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is another one of my no ghostwriter videos. Follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram for 24/7 rap and hip hop talk. And be sure to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe if you like what we're talking about today. So today we are talking about where the law and hip hop and music making come together. And we're speaking about the legal dispute between Tracy Chapman and Nicki Minaj. If you're not familiar, in August 2018, Nicki released her fourth studio album, Queen, and there was a song that was supposed to be on the album that didn't make it, featuring Nas. The song itself was called Sorry, and although it didn't end up on the final album, was actually now the subject of litigation between Tracy Chapman and Nicki Minaj, with Tracy Chapman alleging that Nicki Minaj infringed copyright by doing two key things. This case is going to be interesting for anyone who is a fan of rap and hip hop, and in particular a fan of any rapper who made their come up through making mixtapes and mixtapes using other people's songs. So if you're interested to know why that is, then keep watching this video. So to give a bit of background context as to why I'm really interested in this particular topic, I have said before that I went to law school in England and I'm currently in the stage of becoming a barrister, which is a courtroom advocate in England. We have two different types of lawyers. If you're interested in learning more about my journey to becoming a barrister, then make sure you check out my Blessing at the Bar account, which is in my description. And also, if you want to hear more things about legal topics and really get into the detail of different legal subjects, then check out my legal platform that I've created called Legal Tea, and we've got podcasts, videos, Instagram page, and all of that stuff about different legal news and topics which you'll find interesting. So getting into the video, back in 2017, Nas, the famous rapper and rap legend, asked Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap, to be on a song with him. And it was interesting because, as we all sort of know, around that time Nas and Nicki were dating. Shout out to all of my Nas Nika fans. And that was kind of like a song about their relationship. So when Nas and Nicki were recording together on this song, they actually thought that they were recreating a famous reggae song called Sorry by an artist called Shelly Thunder. In fact, Nicki had thought for about 20 years that that was who had originally recorded the song Sorry. It wasn't until she had tried to get the song cleared for the Queen album that Nicki actually found out that the song was written and originally performed by Tracy Chapman. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Tracy Chapman is a very famous folk singer, and she has been active for over 20 years, and she released a really popular song called Fast Car. So if you're interested in learning more about Tracy Chapman, she's a music legend, you definitely should have a look into her. But the thing about Tracy Chapman is she is notorious for never clearing any samples, and that's what caused the problem in this case. So what ended up happening is that deadline day was coming for the Queen album. Now, all of the barbs remember the time before Queen. Nicki was very active on Twitter. We thought that we were going to get the album in June, as she'd announced at the Met Gala.
And I wanted to make sure bitches knew that the bad guy was here. Album dropping June 15. It's called Queen. Hey, Barbs, I love you.
And then we didn't end up getting the album until August. One of the reasons that the album date was pushed back is because Nicki wanted to get one particular song on the album that she couldn't get cleared. Now, she came onto Twitter and she talked to the fans and she asked the Barbs, do you guys want the album now without this song, or should I push it and try and see if I can get the song onto the final album? Now, being that we wanted Nicki to release a body of work that she was most proud of, a lot of fans said, hold back the album, we can wait, push it back. And so Nicki did push back the album, and the entire time that she had pushed back the album, she was trying to get Tracy Chapman to clear this sample. Now, it's really important to establish what it means when an artist gets a sample cleared. When an artist gets a sample cleared, it means that they have a license to use it, and a license is permission. Now, when you think about what a copyright is, which is something that I'm going to go into later in the video, you need to have permission from who originally owns the work to use the work. That's why when you're watching YouTube reactions, people might not play the music. Like in my reaction videos, I don't play the music when I react to a song because I don't own it and I can't publicly display it and make money from it with YouTube monetizing if I don't own it. And that's exactly the same with music. So artists have to get samples cleared from whoever owns that original sound recording if they plan on making any money from it. And the thing that's really interesting about this case is that money making element, but we'll get to that as well. So moving on into the story, Nicki can't get this sample cleared. She goes on Twitter and she's asked if anyone can help her try and get a direct link to Tracy Chapman so that she can play Tracy Chapman the song and explain to her that this is a really meaningful song to her and she really wants it on her album, artist to artist. Unfortunately, this doesn't work and Tracy Chapman doesn't clear the sample. So Nicki ends up releasing her stunning studio album Queen without Sorry, a song that touched on her relationship with Nas, which would have been huge and really meaningful. In any event, Queen was a massive success. I've actually done a video reacting to the Queen album and talking about its impact, which you can check out on my channel. Now, what's really interesting about this case is that Nicki never put the song on her album, so Nicki actually never put the song out to try and make money from it. Often when people think about copyright, they think, oh, you can't copy my material and make money off of it. And that's the argument that Nicki's legal team has made. Tracy Chapman's team argued that Nicki Minaj infringed copyright in two ways. First of all, by creating the song, and second of all, by distributing the song, which is getting the song played on radio. Nicki's legal team has currently focused on the first part, that Nicki infringed copyright by creating the song itself. And that's the part that really has an impact on the entire mixtape industry and the genre of rap in and of itself. And that's because what Nicki's legal team is arguing is at stake here is experimenting in the studio, something that is really vital and fundamental to the creation of rap songs and hip-hop music. This is definitely true for Nicki, who is very well known for being in the studio playing beat after beat to see what she catches a vibe with. In fact, that's how she created Chun-Li, which was an extremely experimental song that she actually freestyled and created in under an hour. And Nicki actually featured a snippet of her documentary which showed how she created Chun-Li in the studio.
That's fucking hard. That was stupid.
How much was in the folder?
That was that one.
Oh. Let me see what I can just. I just wanted to try to see if I can catch a vibe of it. And then you could play your beats because I want Star to know your vibe. Because he really do trap. I just got him making 80s beats because I was working on Barbie things. Ain't you happy you stepped out your comfort zone? Ain't you happy you listened to me?
Hey, I gotta give it to you, you know what I'm saying? You know it's big.
Let me just sing. I got it really in the wrong. It got back when I'm in the down. I'm in the down, and the down. I'm in the kimmy with it down. I'm in the safe and it's in the down. And then he tell me, hey, yo, I'm big boy. I'm big gone. Tap that bin bar, tap the end on. I'm not in storm. Tap the in on. That's the bin on. Back the in on. Hey, I've been on. Hop the in on. Tap the in on. Hop the bin on. My edit. But I remember I did have a dope Burberry trench that I cannot find. It was so dope and sleek and like professional black when I was in New York. Here goes some hated raid, get your thirst quenched. Still doing him in his Burberry trench. These birds copy every word, every inch. Inch. These birds copy every word, every inch. My niggas. But all my niggas keep the hammer and the... But gang got the hammer and the wrench. These birds copy every word, every inch. But gang got the hammer and the wrench. I like that better. What do you think? Do you like that better?
I like gang
got the hammer and the wrench.
So the critical argument for Nicki's legal team here is that if you can find copyright infringement by creating and experimenting with copyrighted material in the studio, then that means that unless an artist is able to obtain a license, which can be very expensive, they're not going to be able to afford to be an experimental artist in the studio, something that is at the bedrock of creating rap songs. And this is why fans of rap and hip-hop should be concerned, according to Nicki's legal team. Because if it's possible for an artist to successfully sue another artist for using their work, not by putting it out for money, but just by creating a song using their sample, then that potentially opens the floodgates for massive amounts of claims that can be put on artists who may not have deep enough pockets to foot the bill. It is important that when you get a case like this, you look at what its impact is going to be. If you think about how many rappers not only blew up by creating songs on mixtapes or releasing them on YouTube using other artists' sounds, you can see why this would be huge for the hip-hop industry. Nicki Minaj is just one of many legendary rap artists who built up their hype and their careers by freestyling and creating songs on mixtapes using other artists' songs. She's also joined with Lil Wayne, who is famous for making mixtapes using other artists' songs and bodying them on their own beats. That is a part of the biggest reason why people call Lil Wayne the GOAT. Kendrick Lamar is another artist that was known for creating mixtapes using other artists' sounds. Most notably, he created a mixtape using the sounds of Lil Wayne, and that was something that blew him up. In the UK, there's similar artists. Lady Leisha is extremely well known for her freestyles on other artists' songs that she posts to platforms like YouTube. Krept and Conan are another set of artists who have also created a buzz for themselves at the start of their career by creating songs on other artists' beats. So the only people who are going to be able to experiment in the studio and create really amazing rap sounds and share them, not for profit, are artists that are backed by a massive industry machine, because it's only a multi-billion-dollar company that is going to be able to afford the constant amount of licenses that it's going to take to allow an artist to experiment in the studio. The second part of the claim that Tracy Chapman has put forward is that Nicki infringed copyright by distributing the song to DJ Funkmaster Flex of Hot 97 Radio, who played the song after the album had been released on air in August 2018. That is a whole separate element of the claim and isn't something that Nicki's legal team has actually responded to yet. So I'm going to put that to one side for the sake of this video and just focus on the whole creation element. If it's possible to get a copyright claim because somebody has merely created using your sound and hasn't actually sought to make a profit off that, can that really be considered copyright? According to Nicki Minaj and her legal team, it can't. The way in which Nicki's legal team has resisted Tracy Chapman's claim is by focusing on fair use law. Now, fair use law has different elements to it that set out how you can use copyright material but for fair use. And two of the key things that they focused on for the sake of their response to Tracy Chapman's claim is the purpose of the creation using the copyrighted work, and also the impact that the creation would have on the market. So whether creating the copyrighted work and people hearing it would have an impact on the market value of the original material. So the first question Nicki's legal team focused on when they were considering fair use as a response to Tracy Chapman was the purpose of the material. Now, in this case, they said Nicki had merely created a demo of the song so that she could see if it was going to get cleared and hadn't actually intended to release it. And additional to that, Nicki had never released the song for profit and to this day has not made any attempts to make any money off of the song Sorry that she recorded with Nas. So in that way, she disputes that she has actually infringed Tracy Chapman's copyright in any way. And secondly, they focus on the effect of the use of the copyrighted work on the market value of the original. And again, they say that there has been no impact. Nicki has not sought to make any money off of the song. The song isn't on the album and it hasn't had any impact on the original work to the extent that Tracy Chapman is in any way inhibited from making money on it just because Nicki Minaj recorded a demo using that sample. In effect, Tracy Chapman's case against Nicki Minaj has raised a few key questions. First of all, is creating in the studio really the same thing as a copyright? And for rap and hip hop culture, which is built on experimenting in the studio, if it is the case that somebody can bring a copyright claim against somebody who is merely experimented in the studio using a song, is it then going to be the case that we aren't going to have a mixtape industry and culture in rap and hip hop anymore? And will it mean that unless an artist is established and has enough money to afford a license for the sake of experimenting in the studio, are we ever going to see artists like Nicki, Kendrick, and Lil Wayne blow up by creating mixtapes of samples? And as fans of rap and hip hop, do we want to see a world in where it's not possible for an artist to create and be creative unless they've got massive amounts of money? Given everything that's been discussed recently about industry plants and people who aren't really rappers because they've just got a massive industry push behind them, what does that leave for fans of real, authentic, organic hip-hop? And the second question obviously raised by this case is whether Nicki devised and executed a plan to get this song out there in spite of Tracy Chapman's refusal to grant her the license. Another reason it's really difficult to talk about that is because all of the material, the messages, and everything that was discussed has been redacted and is currently not open for public disclosure. So therefore, I can't look authoritatively into what Nicki did or didn't say, and so I can't currently come to a conclusion on that or offer any opinions. That's just the second question that's raised in this case. So I'm going to wrap up this video by asking you what your thoughts are on artists being able to experiment in the studio and how you would feel if artists weren't able to create mixtapes anymore. As a fan of rap and hip hop, I think it would be terrible, and some of my favorite songs are not commercially available. Some of my favorite Nicki songs are samples. Obviously, I love all of Nicki's mixtapes, many of which use samples, and I just think it would be a really sad thing for the hip hop culture and rappers and the music industry as a whole. But I want to know what your thoughts are. So comment below what you think about this case and its impact, and whether you would be happy or sad if artists weren't able to make mixtapes anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. I really enjoyed talking a bit of law with you, and make sure that you like this video, leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.